Major changes have finally come to Apple's MacBook lineup. Apple's MacBook category is ever-changing in its offerings, but it's now gone through one of its largest evolutions in recent memory. Not necessarily in terms of the MacBook models themselves, but rather the line as a whole. Over the last few years, the MacBook lineup has been muddled with more niche and forgotten options than defined products that serve their own purpose within the category. Now, however, Apple has taken the opportunity to streamline these options down to a mere 3 capable choices, which now starts with the all-new MacBook Air. Released in late 2018, the all-new MacBook Air was a welcome update to an assumed forgotten model of MacBook. With a trimmed bezel Retina display and Touch ID authentication, alongside the latest T2 security chip, it has quickly become the most capable and feature-rich entry model since the inception of the 12-inch MacBook in 2013, which it now replaces. Barring, of course, the gripes many still have with the butterfly keyboard mechanism that is now a staple of the MacBook lineup, as well as the limited port selection compared to previous MacBook Air iterations. Nonetheless, it is a notable addition as the new entry model of the lineup, more capable than its predecessor and the other models it replaces. With 3 color options and a competitive starting price point at only $1099. The base model comes standard with a dual-core 8th gen Intel i5 processor, 8GB of RAM, and 128GB of solid-state storage. $200 more can get you double the RAM, but even more enticing is the lowered price on storage upgrades, at only $200 more per upgrade up to 1TB, giving you a maxed out MacBook Air for $1899. All of this makes the MacBook Air one of the best to ever hold the entry spot in the lineup. Next in line are the now 2 options of MacBook Pro in the mid to high-end positions of the lineup. The updated 13-inch and 15-inch models now all include Apple's Touch Bar functionality in place of traditional function keys for custom input functions per app in use. It just makes sense for all the Pro models to have the same base functionality and features. This only leaves optional upgrades and performance enhancements to differentiate the options. Last year's models without Touch Bar started at $1249, and the ones with the Touch Bar at $1699, which also came with a processor upgrade and Touch ID. This year's models now start at $1299, with Touch Bar and Touch ID included. However, the initial clock speed on the processors is lower, and to upgrade to the higher clocked model will cost you $100 more than it did last year. There is, however, also an intermediate processor upgrade option on the 2 entry-level models of the 13-inch MacBook Pro, with an i7 clocked at 1.7 GHz over the 1.4 GHz i5 that comes standard. Geekbench scores indicate it provides slightly better single-core performance than the higher clocked 2.4 GHz i5 in the higher-end 13-inch models, which will somewhat speed up everyday tasks more so than more intensive functions. Seeing as the $300 processor upgrade puts you at the next model price point, I can only recommend this upgrade on the base model if you care more about regular performance than the storage bump, but most will likely opt for spending on storage rather than a small processor bump. And just like for the MacBook Air, RAM upgrade and storage upgrades add an additional $200 per tier, except for the jump to 2TB in this case, which sees an increase of $400 over the 1TB option. But overall, these upgrade costs for storage have been reduced compared to last year. The sleek on-the-go entry, the portable yet powerful mid, and the full-size powerhouse high-end provide distinct enough options to meet the needs of just about every customer seeking a Mac for satellite usage. This newly streamlined MacBook lineup is much easier to navigate compared to recent years, with each option mostly bearing its own purpose within the lineup. Prices are also overall more reasonable for the features and functionality provided by each model, with maybe a couple exceptions, making the current MacBook market quite lucrative on a cost versus feature basis. But I'm curious to hear your thoughts on this new lineup, and if there's a model that particularly stands out to you. Let's continue the discussion in the comments down below. And while you're there, feel free to give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, and subscribe and hit that bell so you don't miss new videos coming to this channel. Until next time, I'm Sean X Tech.